and there was some sort of delay, probably, right? And
Yeah.
so I think my headphones fixed. It should have fixed the issue. I don't see why it wouldn't have. Um, we are live now, apparently, but nobody's
Okay,
here.
sweet.
Nobody's here.
Nobody can say anything.
Let's see.
All good. Um,
We'll wait till people come. So it'll be like that whole whatever we did before. I'm just gonna cut that, and we'll just get right into it.
yeah,
Um,
sweet.
I think we're live, but nobody's watching. They're probably all like waiting for the other thing. Oh man.
Second,
All
yeah.
right, so one person's here. It should have fixed the issue. I don't see why my sound sounded fine. Yeah.
Is it the same link that you sent me before?
No, now it's sound fixed. There we go. I think we're good. B Roots in the house. Ah, shitcoin expert right there. He's made some good calls. All right, so everybody, thank you for bearing with us. We had some technical difficulties, so I believe the sound is perfect. We're going to start from the top. I'd like to introduce my guest, the patient and wonderful Benjamin Blunts, aka Smart Contractor. What's going on, man?
How's it going, everyone? Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Appreciate it.
no, no, thanks for coming on. Like I said, I've been following your work for some time. One of the top Elliott traders, Elliott wave traders in the game. And we were actually discussing Tezos and Chainlink. You said that you mainly chart it versus USD, which is fine. Um,
Yeah, I look at both of them, but because like people actually
yeah, so
ask me
do
that
I.
a lot, but the main reason for me, and it's just super lazy, is because I mainly trade on FTX now,
Hmm.
and everything is traded against USD on FTX.
Yeah, yeah. So I
So that's
mean, it's
basically it. Yeah.
it makes sense. I mean, ultimately, I can appreciate the person who just mainly wants to accumulate more Bitcoin, but at the same time, you know, it makes sense to watch both charts because at the end of the day, the game is about accumulating USD. At least it is for me. Um,
Yeah.
either or is good. Whatever looks good, is
I
what
find
makes
it's also
sense.
it can also give you like a second opinion as well. Like, so let's say you look at a Bitcoin chart and you're kind of iffy about it. You're like,
Right.
it doesn't really look like much. But then you look at the USD chart and you go, actually, I can see it set up there.
Yeah.
Um, that you might not see if you're just looking at a Bitcoin chart or if you're just looking at a Tether chart.
So when you're looking at USD, how much does Bitcoin itself, where it is positionally, or like, how much does Bitcoin's price action factor into your USD trades?
It factors in a lot because I think you have to kind of like it kind of goes against the grain if you think Bitcoin is going to tank but also going to moon. You got to think like that probably might not happen. Like there's only one time that I can remember that happened like that, which was in 2018, like after it completely peaked. But since then, they've kind of moved in tandem, although alts have outperformed if Bitcoin has traded sideways.
Right. Right.
So it's
Because
hard. Yeah, you can't definitively say, all right, Bitcoin looks fucked and is going to tank. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I just swear a lot.
you don't need to
But
apologize for that.
yeah, you can't say, that looks like it's gonna free fall, but also look like they're gonna moon. That doesn't quite make sense. Like, although it has happened before, it doesn't mean that it's likely.
Right. I
But
find that like I've gotten myself in trouble that way where I'm like, oh shit, Bitcoin looks like really kind of bearish here. But I'm looking at Chainlink or whatever coin versus USDT and it just looks massively bullish. And like it might prevent me in the past from taking the trade. But personally, I think like the individual chart you're trading, like you want to have these other things on the side. Like obviously the health of Bitcoin is quite important, to altcoins regardless.
definitely,
But so it's not something you want to completely discount. But if the chart that you're trading is showing you something that is very clear to you, then I wouldn't let something else happening that's not necessarily that chart take
yeah.
precedent, right?
Well, that's another thing because I've found, there's a lot of alt USD pairs out there that are kind of looking like Bitcoin now, even though I was originally thinking Bitcoin, all right. I think yes, the bottom's in. I think that 3.6K was the bottom, but whether or not we're going to see continuation from here,
Hmm.
or we're going to pull back a bit lower, to like the 7Ks. I was thinking at first that was a possibility, but sorry, I got a bit sidetracked there. But what I've noticed now is with a lot of these alt USD pairs is they're already breaking out higher, and they did look like Bitcoin does now. So now I'm like, well, our alt's leading Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is eventually going to break out, or so it's kind of something I've been fighting with and not quite sure on, but basically I've just been focusing on alts lately because
Right.
they're the clean trades, they're the clear setups.
Yeah, when you look at the alts, like something like Chainlink, this was like picture perfect kind of setup for you to play. You get the high dumps, support holds. You make a lower high, and then it starts to work its way up. As soon as it gets to this second peak here and starts to make this shock wave, um, you have a sense that something is cooking. I mean, when
Yeah,
that breaks out, now there's momentum, and then it creates a larger one in here in price discovery that breaks out here. This is another clean trade. It's just gone completely parabolic here, and I guess our comparison, and it's funny, we're both kind of in the same place at the same time with this one. The first and foremost, 2019 BNB and Chainlink. I mean, I'm sorry, BNB and Litecoin were two of the larger cap coins that kind of led the way for other alts. Since then, I don't think anybody could argue. And to the people that spotted it early, you were in great shape, especially in the beginning of the year. It was very obvious that Chainlink still continued to be the cream of the crop, the most bullish altcoin in the game, aside from like something that's like really low volume, like anything of substantial
yeah,
size. Chainlink is king, and Tezos actually moved up for me, and I think that's going to be continue to be one of the leaders. And you'll see that like in January they both performed. So here you have December, January. This is Chainlink's move, and kind of Tezos started a little bit earlier, retraced, and then
yeah.
took off again. So both of these were performing really, really well in the beginning of the year, and now obviously Chainlink has completed its move. When we look at Tezos here, it didn't look great here, but for me, I did a stream. I think it was last Wednesday. Was it last Wednesday? And we were looking at it, and I said, this is not a spot to short. This is a spot where you long. And part of why that decision was made was the fact that the rest of the market looks so good from an
Yeah,
altcoin
yeah,
perspective, and it's very and Chainlink was starting to rip. So Chainlink's looking incredibly bullish. Tezos hasn't made the move yet, and now it's on support. That's kind of a no-brainer because the concept, it could happen, but the odds of Tezos just kind of like falling off a cliff, while the rest of the market is doing so well, and this is still a leader in the game, isn't
yeah.
logical. So it was a now where it's at, we're getting very close, and I'd be looking for something like this, like
It
something,
definitely, like looking at your two comparisons now, like your
like
Chainlink,
this.
it looks like Air Tezos is on the cusp of a parabolic breakout.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And, it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but you kind of like, if we start to cross over, I would say this area here, like you can be pretty, it's a high probability trade for you. And,
Yeah.
I think we're on the same page with this.
But also, I mean, see, like with Chainlink, for instance, we broke out, a couple of weeks ago. But I think what people failed to realize is that that had been almost a 1 year consolidation period. So something that's finally breaking out of a range that have been building up for a whole year is not going to be like a 1 day breakout.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
got pent up um momentum behind it
Yeah.
that's just going to push it higher. It just doesn't make sense if it accumulated for a whole year and then broke out for 1 day and then immediately sold off. It's like
It's like,
I
it's
find the
like,
accumulation.
it's like no fap November, but for a whole year. Like imagine
Yeah, yeah,
jerking
that's
off
right.
for a year and then, doing that.
I mean, yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah,
It's
there's
like
gonna be.
your
It's not
load's
gonna.
going to be a lot bigger.
It's gonna be a bigger load. Speaking of big loads and and pent up, Check out this coin. I want to see what you think about this one because this is one that I've been watching for a long time. I was bullish on this one early, and then I saw what it was doing, and I was kind of like, you know what, this can do this forever. So like, it's better to get out of this and wait until the level goes. And the level for me was 41.28. I'm talking about RSR. I'm sure there's probably a little bit of a delay.
RSL. Yeah, there's a bit of a delay, so I'm just pulling it up now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jesus.
So look at this. Look at this bull flag accumulation that from basically from listing. This is on Huobi, right? And it just shakes everybody out, right? Then you get test pump,
Yeah.
shakes them out again. This red line at like 27 sats ends up being support. It starts to curve its way up, and then it crosses that 41.28 line. This is the line that I was looking at for the longest, and I'm like, you know what? It's better off that you don't need the bottom. Just wait till it crosses this line and get in. And as soon as it clears this line, see ya. You know, it just starts to go.
Yeah. And then it broke out, retested. It's like
Yeah, this is
classic TA, really.
yeah. So just from my perspective, like this is on Huobi only. For the fundamental people out there, you know, it's got some of the characteristics of something that people like. Let's put it that way. And they haven't blowed their load as far as listing exchanges. You know, so eventually
Yeah, well, it's
this.
still only on Huobi, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So
Or-
you know, eventually it's going to go somewhere else, and that's kind of where the volume will come in. As you can see, there's none. I think the market maker pretty much has all of
Mm.
this for the most part.
I do remember you talking about this. I've seen you tweeting about this coin a fair bit, like last year and stuff. And I think that maybe Crypto Messiah as well.
Yeah, he's on it. Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think I've seen a few people. I've never really dabbled in it, but yeah, like this is the first time I've actually looked at this chart in a while. But yeah, that's
There's a
pretty
few people, but I'll tell you what, for the
pretty
people that
impressive.
this right here, so this when this breaks out, like this is when it's like, all right, it's super obvious this is going to go higher, right? At this point, when as soon as this little wave breaks out, it's like, all right, this is not going to hold, and we're going to go to an all-time high. And
Yeah,
what happens is it takes off, goes vertical, and at this point, this whole way up, I noticed it right around here to here. People start saying this is going to end poorly. You know, people are about to join the community. You know, RSR, it's going to end bad. And you know, of course, yeah, it did retrace. But as soon as it does this perfect retrace at the top of this shock crash cycle, it takes off again. And from here to 100 sats, nobody has said shit. They've been
yeah.
quiet as fuck because everybody got scared out in this move and nobody bothered to buy the dip on it. So it's kind of interesting to see how that works. You know, and I think people are going to start popping up soon now that it's over 100 sats.
Well, I mean, like to say that it's got this far off of just a Huobi listing. I mean, you could only imagine what it's going to do if it starts getting some more. Because right now, I mean, the problem is everyone's lazy. Like people don't like to move around to
Oh, yeah.
exchanges to, but
Oh, yeah.
that's how you get the good gains. I remember, in 2017, you weren't getting 10x's on Binance, or at least I wasn't anyway. I was getting the
Shit.
10x's on
What were you playing?
KuCoin. Well, I was getting them on KuCoin, and
Yeah,
they were
it's true.
becoming 10x's once they got listed on Binance.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot
So,
of them
like, you got to
KuCoin.
go to these.
But how about Ether Delta, though? I mean, did
Yeah,
you try
I
that?
never no, because I just found it too hard. Like I think I tried, I had a look, and I was just like, come on, this is
All right.
ridiculous.
So,
But
I'm
obviously,
guessing you haven't played Uniswap then, huh?
no, I've done a few dexes. I mean, I use IDEX a little bit.
Oh, fuck
There was a
that.
there was a
It's
Neo
dude,
dex.
bro. It's
There was a
Unis. It's
Neo dex that I
Uniswap.
used a couple of
It's
times.
it's Uniswap. That's where it is. Period.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that
No, I'm not on
is.
there. No.
You should look into it. I'm telling you, it's worth the investigation. There's some, you know, like you said, anyone could log on to Binance. Super easy, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if you're doing what's easy and that what doesn't take, you know, a little bit extra work, that you know how it works, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I've had my hands full with KuCoin at the moment. There's been some absolute gems on there that have been pumping, but I
I
do
think I
know what
saw
you
you.
mean. And
Did you post a KuCoin chart? I believe the actual KuCoin shares.
yeah,
Was
yeah,
that
that's
you?
the
I saw
one.
somebody posted that. I like this little.
Yeah,
kicked everybody out right here on this fucking scam
Oh,
wick right there, right? That's the one.
one 40% candle, man, and
Look at
one
that.
weekly candle. I thought, yeah, I think that's a major bottom. But see, the problem with those sort of plays is, your stop loss has to be below that wick. That's a fucking 40% range. So,
Mm,
that's where it comes down to your position size. But I do think that scan wick was a major bottom. So yeah, I am
I think the scam wick.
long KuCoin shares.
Huh. This one, I mean, you got balls, man. I give you that. It's this would be one hell of a call, if this one were to pump right here. It's like
Yeah,
it's an it's been on a nasty downtrend. But
yep.
typically like these type of moves, I always pay attention. So,
Well, see, someone actually after I tweeted, because obviously I basically used Elliott Wave for that, but I think
mhm.
after I posted that, one of my followers dug up this fractal with Litecoin that I hadn't even noticed. I'll just send it to you.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think.
Yeah, send it over. Yeah.
One sec. And then I was
The
just like, you
Litecoin
know what?
USD.
I was like that actually kind of looks pretty similar, but that's not at all what I was basing my analysis off.
Hmm.
But yeah, it brings back
Let's see.
some memories. That have you got that?
Yes, I do.
But yeah, basically
It's a
there's
similar kind of thing going on there. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, obviously, you can't just trade based off
Yeah.
fractals. I mean, or some people can. I don't, but
There's
I
some
do like to
divergences
use
on
them
there too,
as
from what I
as a
saw.
secondary opinion.
Let me throw this one up.
But since we've been talking, Tezos has been pushing higher.
Yeah. As it should, as it should.
Yeah, I think that was out of all the alts that I've had my eye on, or like the mid cap ones. I think that was the strongest close. Like
Yeah, I think that's your best
ev-
bet. Like,
everything else has been basically doing nothing. Ripple's been trading sideways. Bitcoin's still trading sideways. ETH still basically doing nothing. They could break out soon, but for the moment, trade the
so
ones that are
you want
breaking
you
out
want you
right
want to see what
now.
this one looks pretty good to me too. Um, V chain. So the problem with this chart is you don't have the Venn price history on here. So it's a little difficult for me to
Yeah,
chart
that threw
this.
me off big time.
It
Hey,
does.
when they
It
swapped
does. Yeah.
blockchains,
Yeah.
that was annoying. If
But
you'd like from a point, if you're trying to chart it, I found it was annoying. Yeah.
so we might as well cover BTC because there was some big news actually in the world as far as Bitcoin today. I mean, it really shouldn't have been, but there was obviously that former Twitter employee. This guy was he had like a beef with the management there, and I think he was terminated. So he's home, and you know I bet you like HR forgot to like shut him down or something, close his
Okay,
accounts.
so it's come out. We know exactly what happened, do we?
Yeah, yeah, they caught the guy. He was a former employee.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
oh
And
wow. Okay, no, I didn't know.
yeah, so I think
So they've already caught him. All this happened
yeah,
just a couple of hours ago, and like they already know who it
yeah.
is,
Yeah,
and he's done.
yeah, I think we're talking like 50 to $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. But Barack Obama
Oh,
was
okay.
hacked. I mean, I don't think they were individually hacked. I think Twitter was hacked. Uh,
Yeah,
so
yeah, definitely.
So basically, I'm seeing a lot of people actually are interpreting this as bearish. There's some fear that Donald Trump will react and say, because people are saying, "Oh, see, this is why Bitcoin should be illegal," and this and that. When the reality is, Bitcoin has nothing to do with the fact that Twitter was hacked.
Yeah.
That's kind of dumb, but the bottom line is Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Kanye, Elon Musk, Jeff Tezos, Jeff Bezos. We're talking about like hundreds of millions of followers on Twitter just got like these messages, hey, send me Bitcoin, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
even if they do interpret that as bearish, it's still Bitcoin is now in the front of their mind, right?
Well, that's basically what I was thinking as well. Like at the end of the day, this is a Twitter problem, not a Bitcoin problem.
No, no, clearly not.
Like it's not like Bitcoin got hacked. It's just someone hacked Twitter and is saying, "Hey, send me this money." Like it's
No. So I might
yeah,
as well
I
play
don't I
Bitcoin.
don't interpret that as bearish. If on the one hand this did, push Donald Trump to come out and say, you know, decide to ban Bitcoin or something, that could, but I don't think he's going to do that.
That's
I,
spec.
I
I mean,
think
it's speculation. If it happens, then
yeah,
we'd have to look at it differently. Also, if people really thought that that was the move, I think you would have saw more of a reaction in the market, right? So, like, if this was a
yeah,
truly bearish event, and there's some bearish connotation with it, I suppose, but you know, in a bear market, this may have dumped the price significantly, right? But
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
signs of a bullish market is when bearish news comes out, the market just absorbs it. There's no desire to sell on that. So the
that's right.
fact that we
Yeah,
didn't get any reaction, really, I would say zero reaction today, is something that's notable, in my opinion.
yeah. What's the saying? It's like a market that doesn't sell that doesn't sell off on bad news is a strong market, and vice
Yeah.
versa.
Yeah. So for me, I'm keeping it very simple. Bitcoin is not something that I've traded, for like the last couple months. Like it's just alts and stocks look better. We're doing really well with them, and what's the point? If this goes
Yeah,
over, 10.5, I mean that's like 12, 14% away from here. Okay, so I missed that. But if it goes over, this is clearly a bullish move coming. So we'll be able to participate in that. But until that happens, like really, what's the point? But if you are gonna play, you want to play towards the bottom of this range. That's it, and that's where we
that's
are.
right.
So, I'm getting messages from people and seeing stuff on my timeline where people are talking about how well they're doing collecting funding in short. Like that's a strategy. Some people have done fantastic with it, actually. But the problem is a lot of them open those shorts, towards the upper part of the range. So now they're saying, look how much money I made in funding, plus I'm in the green on my short. So now
Yeah,
other people are kind of getting that FOMO like, shit, maybe I should just hedge short and collect funding. And once you start to see more people thinking that's a great idea at 9,200, with this whole hack thing, I mean, combining that with what I'm seeing in legacy markets, I think the move is coming, and I think it's going to
mm,
be an up move, not a down move. Now, there could be a wick, retesting the 60-day MA on this weekly here, clear everybody out, and then take off, or it could just start to pick up. We'll see what happens. But ultimately, I think we're getting closer to the end of this wave, and I think it resolves bullish, personally.
yeah. Interesting. Well, if you look at Bitcoin now on the daily and zoom right out, we're dead smack in the middle of the range. So like
Yeah,
taking any kind of position here is basically 50-50 in my opinion.
right.
I mean, you can open up a small long, but like to take any trade with conviction in the middle of a range, it just doesn't make sense.
Yes, agreed, agreed. I would
I
say
mean,
like
and then
over 9,500 would be a good sign to me. I think you could start, but then you're still right in the middle of the range. So it's like, what's the point? What's the point? It's like fuck it.
and Bitcoin dominance as well. Like, I mean, that's something that I've been paying a lot of attention to, and on the
Yeah,
weekly chart, it's still firmly in a downtrend. So
yeah.
I think Bitcoin could potentially move up to the top of the range, and alts could still stay bullish as well.
You think? Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but I think yeah, well, it all depends on how hard it pumps. I think if it'll have a fast initial move, and then it'll sort of slow down and keep grinding. So
If it breaks 10.5, do you think the dominance will rise or stay the same?
yeah, I think if it breaks 10 at 10.5, I think dominance will start trending back up.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah,
Yeah, that would
for
be kind
sure.
of your cue to exit
But
alts.
see, and I've also been, I mean, with alt seasons, you find that there's that rotation aspect. So I find like the large caps move first, then the mid caps,
Right.
then the small caps. So I'm still trying to decide for myself where exactly we are in that um, um, equation. Like for me, it feels like it's mid caps and small caps are both pumping together still. So I don't know whether or not we've really
Where was
felt
large
that.
cap season? I feel like we missed
Well,
that, right?
yeah,
Large
so
cap
do
season.
I think large cap season was when Bitcoin was trending. I think they kind of moved in tandem, really.
Right. Yeah, I
So
guess
yeah,
so.
I think it's mid caps and small caps which are the ones to watch now. But I don't know whether or not like the real pure filth, like the real low shit cap coins have started having their runs yet.
No,
I
they've
don't.
they've been doing it, man. Yeah, there's some
Yeah,
out there that
okay,
are
yeah.
doing like that the Uniswap thing I was talking about. There's and not to call them
Yeah.
pure shit, but like low cap kind of.
Sorry.
There are coins that are doing like 10, 20 X's out there, and I'm
Yeah,
seeing a
I'm
lot.
in some. I'm in some
Yeah,
real low cap stuff
yeah.
right
You're in
now.
some real
Not
shit,
big
huh?
positions at
Yeah,
all, but
you
yeah,
can't.
I
You
feel
can't.
really dirty when I'm long these really small cap
Oh man,
coins.
but they're quite satisfying when they pump, though, right? Like,
Yeah,
is it?
definitely,
You just have
man.
to set those orders. It's kind of hard.
Yeah. Oh, it's so hard to get in. Like you can't even get in anything over like a $5,000 position without spending like
Oh
a
yeah,
week trying to get in.
yeah. Unless, yeah, definitely.
There's just you just can't. There's just like you look at the books and there's just like people are selling like what $5 and $10 for positions. It's like what? This is crazy. But yeah, no, it's good fun anyway. I like it.
Dude, buying coins like that, you just have to look at the order book and look and see where like anything of size is. So like I look for like anything over point 0.1. Like I don't, as long as it's not like 20% higher or five.
Yeah,
If it's like on the same page, you just like buy everything up to there, and hope it's a bot. If there's a
yeah,
bot that just like keeps
definitely.
putting the order out, you could just keep buying it, and then eventually the bot goes and it takes time.
And
You can't get in right away, or else you're going to
some
affect the price too much.
something that I found interesting as well in this season is typically like I was of the opinion that adding derivatives to a coin is usually a bad sign,
Right.
but FTX has been adding some things and they've it's just propelled them higher. Like
I don't know. They added vet like on this candle like right towards the top of the move, and then it stalled. I saw that one. I
but
know
like
they
I'm
added
like with the DeFi stuff, like
right.
what SXP they added that and it still moved 60% higher. Think there was another one as well. Theta, obviously, that was the kiss of death. They added Theta and it
Yep.
topped.
Yep.
But then there was like there was there's been a couple since then that have kept pumping. Like it hasn't really affected them, and I think that's because of the environment, the atmosphere we're in. Like people are still really bullish.
You know what? That
So
reminds.
I think that's a good sign,
I
to
got a
be
good
honest.
question for you. I'm curious to hear your answer. I was thinking about this and comparing 17 to 20. Obviously, there's a lot of things different now. We have derivative exchanges. People are trading Bitcoin differently. I remember in 17, it was like the concept of shorting was very foreign to most people in the space. But one thing that's very different is when I first got in on Coinbase, it was all you could buy was like ETH and LTC. And when they added Bitcoin Cash, that was like major. It was fucking major. But now you have like so many new fiat on and off ramps, like Binance, you could buy with fiat, and everything has USD pairings now. Whereas in 17, we didn't really have that. Like, what? How do you think that affects this cycle? Do you think it has an effect? Like, what would be,
I never I never
like,
really, yeah, I never really thought about it, to be honest. I mean, for me, it's just more convenient because
right?
the problem I had with an alt season is, let's say I wanted to get it like I had a level I wanted to get out. So you'd set your stop loss in Bitcoin.
Hmm.
So you're in this alt, you set your stop loss against the Bitcoin pairing. But what if they all crash together and alts just crash more? Then you get stop lossed out for Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's still falling. So your USD value is falling even more.
Yeah.
That's why I like coins. Like I like to get in coins in a Bitcoin pair because there's just more orders and it's more liquid. But if you want a hard stop loss and you're like, I need to get, if it gets here, I got to be out. You have that added comfort of being, taken out in the dollars, and then then that's it. Your value can't
Yeah.
decline anymore. Whereas if
Safer.
Bitcoin and alt tank together, where they have done in the past, you can get double wrecked by having a stop loss in a Bitcoin pair.
Yeah. Double wrecked for sure, man. Like
Yeah,
that's what it was. And like when I'm thinking about it now, part of it is like I know for certain people were buying Bitcoin to participate in alts, right?
yeah,
And that was kind of like I remember just how I felt when I got in, and it was like, yeah, like I was like, okay, Bitcoin's dope, like let me get some of that. And then I was like, wait, what are these other things? Like, wait, what? This Digibyte it just did what? Bitcoin is already $3,000. It's already $1,500, whatever it was. Like, what's the odds of this doing 100x? But then I'm looking at coins like Verge and all these other shit coins, and I'm like, oh, like I buy Bitcoin and then I turn the Bitcoin into these coins. So it was really like
Yeah,
kind of pushed the value proposition of Bitcoin. Alt season itself like helped Bitcoin moon, which eventually crushed the altcoins,
it's like a
versus Bitcoin.
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, and Ethereum was bought. I wasn't buying Ethereum to support the ecosystem or do smart contracts. I was buying Ethereum to throw them at ICOs, right?
Me too. Yeah, definitely.
So
Power Ledger and all those
yeah,
crazy,
so like Ethereum's
crazy
value
things.
proposition was spurned on by the ICO craze, which doesn't exist today. You don't need necessarily to buy ETH I mean, people aren't really even doing ICOs like that. I guess you could, but it's definitely not the same demand as it was. I mean, we were doing
So
like,
do you have the same opinion for the current DeFi craze? You know, because there's a lot of people out there that think, oh, F's going to moon because all that money from
right,
DeFi
yeah.
is eventually going to flow back into it. But it's just, I don't know. Like, was that the case in the ICO phase or?
You know what? Stillman made a pretty convincing argument for it, but it's not my argument. He'd have to convince you because I guess I need to know more. I'm not educated enough on it. I just know that right now that trend has been doing well, and it's something that we've been monitoring and playing for some time now. Like as far as Uniswap and plays like Compound and all these coins, these we have a whole channel in the dojo dedicated to Uniswap, and I've we've done videos like for months now telling people that, like, yo, check this out. This is like where it is.
Uniswap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
nice.
now it's finally starting to get that attention.
Well, like
But
I'm still like I think it really is like all these exchanges like FTX has listed a whole DeFi index. They've listed like four or five other DeFi instruments. KuCoin has come out tweeting the other day they're doing like community vote DeFi listings. So I think all these exchanges are like jumping on board the DeFi train, which is gonna drive these market caps even higher because all of a sudden you don't need to go onto this DEX or this this obscure small exchange to get into these things. You can go onto the everyday exchange that people like to use, which only in turn just gives it more exposure and pushes them higher.
so Stillman says one thing is that in most DeFi protocols, ETH is not the most important collateral you'd play with. So stable coins are incredibly important for it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
Like I'm impartial. I don't really have an opinion on whether or not
Still,
DeFi is going to push
Stillman,
it. I don't
do you
know.
want to jump on? Do you want to talk a little bit? I think this is a good time for you to talk. I mean, because I can't.
I'd like to know as
Yeah.
well.
Do you,
Yeah, for
would you
sure.
mind if he's? I don't know if he's even available. Um, let's see. Let's see if he can hop in here real quick because I'm no expert on it. I'll be the first to admit it. I just trade them.
Same. I just yeah, I just buy stuff with good charts. I mean, I know the basics of the fundamentals, but I don't have the time to sit there researching
Yeah.
all these different things. There's too much to keep on top of, you know.
Stillman, you there, sir? Hello.
Can you hear
Hey,
me?
hey.
Yeah, I can hear you. Very good. I hear your keyboard clicking.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
you're live, man.
How are ya?
Jake?
Yes. Can you hear me? I can hear you. Weird.
Oh no, his mic just went on mute.
Can you hear me, Jake?
Yeah, we can.
Hello.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. We can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Awesome. Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Hi,
Stillman.
Benjamin.
Steve
up?
Bradley says Stillman for
Not
president.
much, man.
Wait, now I can't hear you guys.
It's always the
Give me a
technical
sec.
difficulties, guys. But this will be worth it because me and Ben here are like, DeFi, what? I don't know.
I mean,
Now-
yeah, everyone's talking about it, so I'm just so obviously I've been paying attention, but
Yeah.
for me it's just charts. It's not,
Yeah,
not
same.
I don't know enough fundamentally about it.
Same, but for me, it's like Stillman. He pointed me in that direction like months ago. He was like, "Yeah, I really think this DeFi thing is real. Like it's about to be a bubble." not a bubble, but like some hype shit. And you know, this guy Akano on Twitter, he also
yeah.
wrote a pretty
Yeah,
good thread
I
about
follow
it. And was,
Ocado. Yeah,
yeah, Akano
he's a
saying,
beast as well.
yeah, he was
He's
all
great.
over it too. Yeah, we
Yeah,
should all
Do you
hear
guys
you,
know
actually made
Alex
a
Saunders?
Alex Saunders.
Oh
Alex
yeah, yeah,
Nuggets News.
of course. I like
He was all over
called
it for months as well.
he called Nexus Mutual real early, which is a DeFi
Yeah,
insurance fund,
yeah,
which did multiple access. I was
yeah.
joking with a couple of friends that only in crypto, even your insurance is a Ponzi. Um, but then I,
Yeah,
but
right. The
then I
insurance is a
realized
Ponzi.
most insurances are probably Ponzi's. We just don't get to see them from the inside.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Alex knows his stuff big time. Yeah, so with Ethereum and DeFi, I think currently there's like it doesn't really spur like it doesn't really incite demand for Ethereum.
Yeah, might as well look at it.
Once Ethereum has scaled and you get the staking on that too, and I think it will also show up more as like potential collateral in some of the plays. But currently it's mostly stable coins. And like beginning of the year, we all noticed how the stable coins got, the market cap of the stable coins just increased and increased and increased. We were all wondering what's this about? Like, is this like new money flowing in, or are
Yeah.
people hedging their BTC because like a big down move's coming? And I think at that point it was already the DeFi protocol starting to like suck in all this liquidity. It was actually like looking back at it, it's pretty obvious to me that the stablecoin surge was very much spurred by that.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that because I always thought it was people just getting sort of stable coin or Tether or whatnot ready to buy Bitcoin. I didn't realize it was a DeFi issue.
I think that that's also a factor. Like people that didn't really like leave the ecosystem entirely, but were
Yeah.
kind of uncertain. Yeah, I think that was a factor definitely too. But DeFi definitely is sucking in so much liquidity from all places. I think the centralized exchanges are already feeling it. That's why they're all like try to mass list DeFi projects now to get some trading volume because the hype is there. But if you put your liquidity on DeFi protocols, it's actually incentivized, right? You are the exchange. You partake in market making just by providing your tokens and stable coins there, and then you also in some cases are rewarded with governance tokens that currently have a very high speculative value. So why should I participate on a centralized exchange that takes my fees and holds my private coins? I mean, okay, on DeFi projects, obviously you also have that counterparty risk because you put your money in a smart contract that can be hacked or gamed. But still, like there's great incentive to deposit liquidity on there instead of having it on the exchange, and you're getting basically extra rewarded on your trading.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very strong
Interesting.
value
Yeah.
proposition.
So ultimately, long term, it is bullish for us, basically.
Yeah, because it's like Jake said, like ICOs. I mean, they're coming back kind of.
Yeah, I see that. Some of them are.
Projects
Yeah, it's
projects
not
are,
the
are
same
doing
thing,
these
but
like bonding curve sales, and they actually use like DeFi projects to do their raises, and they get butted hard.
yeah,
Happened a couple of times already. So ICOs
gas wars. They're back.
gas wars are back big time, and
Yeah.
people are like blocking the Ethereum network to get in the first blocks to buy all the
It's
the
important.
cheap
It's important
coins.
to know. I mean,
Yeah.
like
Wow.
that's like really happening. That's it's kind of
That is very
shocking, but
2017.
yeah,
Like
like
it's the interesting thing is I still feel that the majority of the market isn't participating in this.
right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
It already feels so hype, and there's so many scams running too. Like Uniswap is full of fake tokens and fake pools, and everybody, they are listing the weirdest, like especially
Right.
like the 4chan people, they are listing the weirdest coins and just pump the shit out of them.
Right.
It's crazy.
This probably feels like how January of 2017 felt, or like late 2016. Like the people
Well,
that were
that
in there were like, yo, this is mad hype, but like the majority of people weren't
Were
in.
you around then, Lance?
I got into Bitcoin in around 2017. So like the start of 2017. So when Bitcoin was about 3,000, give or take, and then
a
it
lot of
jumped
people
up to
came in
20K.
that wave. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
May.
That was
May,
my
June.
introduction.
And still, did you? I don't know if you heard the question I asked Blunts, but like I was thinking about it, and as far as like Bitcoin's utility or value proposition, part of it was to buy altcoins. Obviously, like a lot of people were buying Bitcoin on Coinbase and sending it to Binance and Bittrex and Poloniex. That definitely pushed the price up, right? Like 100%. If you don't believe that, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but Ethereum as well with the ICOs. But now that this cycle has kind of come around, we have like different fiat gateways. Like you can buy directly on Binance, and there are other ways to get in, but you don't have, you have so many more USD pairings where like you don't necessarily need to buy Bitcoin to participate in a lot of these altcoins. I mean, you still do. You still need it.
It still happens, yeah.
But I think there's like, as far as like liquidity and like the larger caps go, like back then, the only ones you could buy off USD was ETH and Litecoin. We're talking about two.
Yeah.
Now, like there's I way think, more.
Like my answer to that would be that is not as necessary, but at some point, but I still think I think Bitcoin will pump on narratives, and there will maybe be a different kind of money pumping it when that happens. And once that happens, it will put the fear into the new people, which Bitcoin
by different kind of money. Do you mean institutional money?
Yeah, it's a bit of a broad term, right?
Yeah.
I think that currently with the quantitative easing going on,
a hedge against inflation is
we will. Yeah, I mean, you can see that by Raoul. What's his name?
Raoul Pal.
Raoul Pal. Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. I think he has an audience that's a bit different of 2017 majority market, and whether that's the truth or not doesn't really matter. I think there will be some exposure by quote unquote institutional players, and I think that the money expansion will have an effect. It just takes time. Like currently, the money is created when the money is borrowed, it's lended out, and that's states doing that at the moment mostly. So it needs like another step to distribute that money on the markets.
I agree. I mean, and there's the Paul Tudor Jones as well. Basically, came out and said he's allocated a portion of his portfolio for the same thing. But people come out and troll them because it hasn't pumped immediately straight away. But it's like these people aren't trading fucking intraday 15-minute Bitcoin charts. They're like looking at the long term. So
they also don't know when he bought it.
Yeah, well, exactly.
How,
yeah,
right? Like he may have bought that on the move. It's possible. When he's just talking about it at 9K. But, just comparing it to S&P, we compare these charts. I'll just put them together. And we'll just put Coinbase.
It's been an interesting time because I feel like this time around, everything has been going up together. Gold, silver, commodities.
They all went down together too.
Equities.
There was no hedge.
Everything is correlated. Even oil. Oil's been right. Like everything's correlated right now.
There was no hedge against this. Everything ate it. And when you look at NASDAQ has already made a new all-time high. It's going higher. Obviously, we see what Tesla's doing. It's insane. It's absolutely ripping. But
I saw that tweet where somebody said Tesla gained one BMW and lost lost one General Motors in a day, like in market cap terms. It's
crazy.
Oh, it's mental. I remember of like watching this and being bullish on it in like 2016, 17, and I thought at the time I had this outlandish price prediction that that was bad, but it's blown twice past that, and I'm just sitting here looking at like never in a million years could I have predicted that. That it's going to pump over 1,000%
It was wild.
in under a year.
Absolutely wild. Something like Wayfair, which has definitely had some interesting news lately. It's
Yeah.
done it. It did an 8x, since March, like
Yeah.
8x. So,
Yeah,
people
well,
don't realize like you don't have to wait for Bitcoin to break 10.5, right? Like there's stuff going on, and the same way there's DeFi projects. One of the baskets that we trade is something that Xavi named the fuck basket, or the fook actually, and it means fuck you, quarantine. So basically these are stocks that are
internet stocks. Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, that, but also, stuff like Home Depot, things that people will use, being that
Food
there's
related stuff.
yeah, food related. There's all sorts of different things in that basket, but plenty of these stocks are performing really well. And when we look at S&P here, I mean, this is sitting right at key resistance, but this structure, it certainly looks like it's going to get close. Like it's pretty soon we could be getting
it's
above
either
this.
gonna, yeah.
And
It's
if
either
it
going to break out,
yeah,
or it's going to dump.
something
That
terrible will
decision
happen.
point.
And if this were to break out, let's say tomorrow or the day after, I mean, a new all-time high is inevitable, and it'll start to pick up speed. If this breaks out, right? I don't think Bitcoin's just going to fall through. It could fake out, but ultimately I would expect this Bitcoin wave to break out as well. And you can see on the weekly here,
It's like
it's starting to
Like the
curve up. Like if you zoom in, it's coming around here, and this is just going to be good for risk assets if it happens. And Bitcoin is a
have
risk
you guys
asset.
been
So,
have you even the Chinese indexes, like the CN50 is just broken out of a massive consolidation range since 2015.
yeah,
Even China stocks just look insanely bullish right
everything's
now.
doing well because people don't want dollars, right? Dollars not looking too great right now. And
China big time. Like FTX Dragon Index, also in the with the crypto coins with VeChain leading.
yeah,
China's back.
yeah, people don't
China's
want
back, yeah.
People, nobody wants to be stuck in cash when the amount of printing that's going on globally. It's not just the Fed in America printing; every central bank is printing,
Well,
and that takes
now
time.
that you mention,
It takes time. It's not going to
I
overnight happen.
actually hadn't looked at that Dragon Index in a while, but that's consolidating above a prior all-time high. That
Yeah,
looks like it's
looks really nice.
I haven't looked at that in a while, but it looks like it's gonna break out. Definitely.
Did you follow what VTHO is doing on LBank?
No, I haven't.
That was
I haven't been.
That was the call nobody took. Nobody
That was the
took.
call nobody took. Exactly,
We
I
called
called
Vet
that
and
at the
Stillman
very-
calls Thor.
Yeah,
Cool.
VeChain Pro. And that did 240%, and it looks like it's bull flagging right now above that giant falling wedge that it did since inception. It's crazy. I mean, VTOR is listed nowhere. Like it's not on Binance. It's not. You got T-Fuel on there. You got gas. Everything. Like why is VeChain nowhere to be found? I think in this cycle, it's going to be listed somewhere, right?
Right. Why? Yeah, I guess it's difficult for them to do masternode support on Binance, right? I wouldn't see that. I don't know.
Sure,
how they do it.
but you could list
Oh yeah, they could definitely list it. But I was just saying is there a way for people to stake on Binance?
No, but it's the vet that's doing the staking. So
Right.
Either they do that already. I'm not aware. I don't know.
I mean,
or they could list it easily if they already implemented the VeChain blockchain, and it's so Ethereum based that I think it's super easy anyways.
it's like I'm getting the 2017 vibes. It's like, the few coins we've been talking about on this stream, like you were mentioning RSR. Since we've been talking about that, it's breaking out again.
what's
It's
it
up
doing?
another 5%. Tezos already is up another 5% since the daily close. 2 hours ago?
Look at this weekly.
Like
this is fucking
it's all
bullish, guys.
moving right
what
now.
What do you want me to say? Told you. This is mad bullish.
VeChain actually was one of the coins that breaking out and breaking trend was one of the last pieces of confluence I needed to say. Okay,
You want to see another one, guys? Here, I got another one for you.
Show us. Come on.
It didn't do it yet, but like it's not there yet. But like keep a close eye on this. Like if we look at the weekly, look at where it is. Like you can't even see it. It's like dead as fuck. But this weekly,
the stream is lagging. Tension is building. I'm so
RSR.
curious what this is.
just look at the weekly. Oh, the stream is so the people on the stream can't see it either.
No.
Oh shit.
No,
You
no,
got
no.
RSR up.
The people on the stream get the audio and the images.
Ah, the old IVX.
I can't. That's a long ass flag, right? That's
Yeah.
such a long
Look at this.
consolidation
Look
after
at
that
this.
first move.
This is from February 3rd. Like
Yeah,
this is over
Yeah.
6 months of consolidation above resistance. Like
yep. And now it's breaking. It's
Yeah,
closing above the
it's-
neckline there.
it's
Yeah.
getting there. It's not there yet, but if this goes a little bit higher, like
Yeah.
look at where it is in the chart. Like there's a lot of room, guys. There's a lot of fucking room on this.
Definitely.
So,
It's
you don't
always a
need
good
to buy it
thing.
right now, but
I mean, one of the other coins I'm kind of like trolling on, but I'm also half serious. Is one chain, right? Like,
yeah.
I just pulled out today. I pulled out my printed out version of the one chain white paper from 2017. Now open it up, and it's like the future of decentralized finance, right? And it's like lending and borrowing. All these DeFi use cases are spelled out there, and they didn't stop developing, right? They built all these bridges. They're one of the few, interoperability coins that can bridge to Bitcoin easily.
Yeah.
That's something that is a big value proposition for like RAN, like wrapping Bitcoin and stuff like that. And nobody's talking about that because the salt on it is so high. It might be even higher than an icon.
I'm still salty about this fucking thing. But
Yeah, almost
looking
everybody
where it is, it's like super close. So I have it on the chart right here.
Yeah, needs to get over that pesky EMA.
Yep. But let me see. Let me pull. Oh, I'll take off VPVR. So we have, like, you have this structure here. This is the fake pump, test pump, I guess. Capitulates here, goes into a bear market, even sweeps this low. So this is the move that like we were playing a couple months ago, like where it does this thing like below and then reclaims it. As soon as it reclaims this level, this was the entry signal on a few coins, like One Harmony at 27 sats, played that same exact move. Reclaims this level, and now we're starting to kind of, we fake out above. This is a fake out, right? We're a test, but now we're back above it again, basically. This can take off at any second, really. Truth be told,
Yeah.
like this is pretty good looking. It's getting there. It's getting there. Like you don't want it below this. So like
No,
back below 2,000
definitely not.
sats, like, I would probably look elsewhere or wait for it to do something. I would get out, frankly. But you're risking 500 sats of downside. That's like 25%, no, 20% approximately, give or take. But the upside on this is like incredibly high. This can move. This could do a 4x like pretty quick. So
Definitely.
It could basically enter like its own new cycle,
Yeah.
and then you just manage your risk, take some profit, and see where it goes. And also coincidentally, just like a couple days after I took that position, one chain comes out and says, "Oh, we have a new roadmap out, update upcoming, and we are cooking so much interesting stuff. Wait till you see it." And I'm like, okay, obviously you're now jumping on the DeFi train properly because you just weren't able to spell it out before in a hyperbole kind of way what you're doing.
So we're coming up on an
market cap
hour,
of
man.
one,
Like
I think it's relatively low by now. It's like 20 million, maybe
27 mil, yeah.
27 mil.
Yeah, like it's not a low cap by any means, but a lower mid.
Yeah. It's let's call it a mid cap. But see, there's some coins out there that like with like XLM's one that I've been playing and looking at for a while. I think there's something massive about to happen on that.
Looks,
But that's got a market
chart.
cap of like nearly what is it?
XLM.
billion?
Two
Someone
billion,
brought this
yeah,
up.
two-
Yeah, it's still like it's
So
like
even
really
that looks
bullish looking.
insanely bullish, and I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
could pump like 50%. I'm looking at the
Dude.
market cap and going, well, that means it'll be a $4 billion market cap. But
Dude, from
you know,
USD perspective, this little wave right here, like 10 cents, we start getting above that again. Ah, man. This could take
Yeah, I
off.
agree. The chart looks
The
very
USD
promising.
side looks good. Are you're looking at USDT, right? For XLM?
both.
Both.
So
Both look good.
X,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
this is,
It's a similar look.
this
It's a very
this
similar
is
look.
this
Yeah.
is what
Yeah.
it came back to before when we were
Yep.
talking at the start of the stream, how you use one as confluence for the other.
They both
But
look
with
fucking
XLM,
good.
I think they both look good. You know,
Yes.
one's like in a kind of head and shoulders breakout now with all the volume on the breakout, and one's like an
Yep.
ascending triangle breakout. Like they just both look crazy good to me.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
And the funny thing is, like with like Bitcoin not moving at all for so long, currently BTC and USD pairings look very, very similar on like the last
Yes.
move they did. It's
That's
funny.
right. Yeah.
So blunts, DAG.
Dag. Yeah, I like. I mean, it's having a pullback. I think. I mean, well, basically, I think the last weekly close was good. I think it had a really nice bullish engulfing, and I think this week's probably going to be an inside bar
Mhm.
that might retrace to the 61.8, which for me is at like 8,800 sats. But I think DAG structurally looks very bullish.
Yeah, I think what you want to see now is like a higher low of some form that can be in in the 90s or in the low 80s.
I kind of want to see an
that
ejection.
too.
I want to see an ejection.
You want to see
Because-
another ejection? I mean, why
Yeah,
not?
but I mean,
Zavi is also 50-50 on
Because
that.
this is KuCoin. Remember, it's on KuCoin. So KuCoin, you
Yeah.
get those stupid ass wicks. Like, this is like, it's just this is a nice looking flag playing out, but the timing the end of it is so difficult, right? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
like a lot of times
But I
people
do
get burned
think
at the
this
end.
is a major higher low that's in the process of forming. It
Yeah.
might turn out, take a month or two and kind of make like an Adam and Eve kind of bottom, or I don't know how long it's going to take, but I do think it's in the process of forming a major.
And I mean, like being patient and paying for confirmation a little bit. It doesn't harm anybody. You can do something else with the money if you're not in yet. But like DAG is still like fundamentally one of the projects I'm most
So
bullish.
looking at
bullish
it
on.
now, we had
Big
this
time.
this lows put in at around 68. I remember, we were playing this like in here. Was this this area, and like 60 sats was very key. 40 was like another area, but this level, this is not a bad spot to try it, to be honest. Like
Actually, yeah,
No, yeah.
definitely. And also
it
on
went
the-
up to
on the-
120. We pulled back 20%. Like
Yeah.
Well,
more.
it pulled back
Yeah.
77% from its,
From its high, yeah, of course.
2019
Yeah,
highs. Like that's
yeah.
a massive pullback. The hype started off, potential major higher low being printed. I think,
and also there to the left, like I was still looking at this like last inefficiency from the pump when it broke out. There's like one space still left that isn't filled yet on the BTC side, but if you open the UCT pairing, you'll see that the chart completed its cycle fully. Like it retested the accumulation range, which is also like on piece of confluence that tells me, okay, maybe we don't have to fill that last bit of inefficiency.
Well,
there.
even like the tether pair, like last week's candle was huge. Like that was a big engulfing. So I wouldn't be
Normally,
surprised to see an inside bar this week.
normally I would say like you don't want to buy something that's going down. Like if you buy and it starts going down, like you don't really want to buy more. You're better off to get out. But
I do. Sorry, yeah, go on.
like this, looking at this, so it's iffy. It could just hold here, and take off, and the other potential is that the flag continues and you get another like maybe you get a quick wick to the top of this, so somewhere like 83, right? That's an area like 83 to 85. You can get a wick down there and a bounce. Like that's something I would play. So I would be in favor
if
of
you draw the trend line downwards from the top. That's also where it would retest to break out of that triangle, exactly that level that you just said.
True. Yeah, that's where it's just bounced off from. Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, Jack, for interrupting.
No problem.
But yeah, I mean, what you were saying before with averaging into something that's already falling. I find it if you go into the trade, with like a half size with the intention of buying more weakness, that's all right. But if you blow your load at the beginning and enter your full position size and then it goes against you, that's usually when I'd say, averaging in is probably not the best idea.
Right. Well, I mean, I think its time is coming. I agree with you guys there.
Same.
Yeah, I think it's coming. It's just the end of these flags. It could be like you could be in now and it can do something like this, right? Like it can dip down, then go like this, then
You
do
know what it
that,
looks like?
and then start to come up. And
Now,
this 2 week period, you could have played XLM and XLM takes off. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah. Pull up
what were you gonna
RLC.
RLC.
Pull up but split your screen so you've
Okay.
got both up.
That's
Pull up
a really nice
RLC
chart.
RLC BTC. It looks exactly like DAG does right now before RLC broke up.
RLC BTC.
By
Yeah.
the way,
like-
Jake, the stream just caught up, and I should have been more specific. Like I had a trend line from the first top to the second.
Wait,
to
you said the
to
stream
lower.
cut off?
No. That the stream caught up now.
Oh.
So I saw the trend
I
line
wasn't
that-
sure
that
what
you-
type of trend line you wanted me to draw.
that you drew exactly. Like I had an older one from the top to the first lower high, and then you have like that fake breakout that comes next, and
Oh, wow.
that falls right back in, and that
at
trend
this.
line actually it broke out now for the second time.
See, this looks quite
So-
similar. Yeah, definitely.
Very, yeah.
Oh
Very
yeah,
similar.
Wow.
Like on the weekly, I just feel like
But
it-
like you
it
see,
looks
like this
That's
this
like a
could be
fucking
you could
crystal ball.
you could be right
Yeah.
here right now, like here.
Oh,
right?
it could be before the ejection. You think?
No,
I
this
think-
this could be this, right? And then you do this, do another rejection, then it takes off and makes a shock wave here. Like this would be something like this, like, and then it starts to go up there. But
yeah.
only time will tell. You can't compare the two and say it's going to do the exact same thing, but
No, I just
looking
what
at
I meant
yeah,
to say
no,
structurally,
yeah, no,
very
100%,
similar, yeah.
100%. But like
Super similar.
looking at it,
Definitely.
this
Good spot.
it could be in this, like, so this is like this, right? So it may need a
But
little
yeah,
more time
whether
to
or not
develop.
it has another wave down, I know what you guys are trying to say. I get it, but
I think
just-
Stillman's.
yeah,
I think Stillman's saying it's going to go right now. What are you saying, Stillman? What do you think?
I think that we most likely like test somewhere above the last shockwave it did. Like we don't do lower
yeah.
low.
No.
I think we're doing the higher low next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But,
I mean,
you just can't rule it out completely. We also got to see like this alts, playtime has been going on for a while. We also got to see
This
what
RLC is
the
fucking
speed does
beautiful. Look at
next.
that.
I mean,
Something to watch.
the good thing is that
We're
a
on
lot
the
of
same
this
page.
Qcoin, a lot of this Qcoin stuff doesn't react as much to BTC volatility as Binance does. Like I remember that, like
Yeah,
DAG
that's very true.
had its strongest phases when the whole market bled like crazy, and BTC did weird shit. So they're very very like catalyst based plays, and you can have Qcoin pumps happening while BTC is doing stuff.
definitely, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's one of the. I mean, because I only really started looking at it again when I saw your tweet, Stillman, and I pulled that chart up, and I was like, I've seen this structure play out so many times, mainly with RLC, kind of similar with BAT BTC, and then I was like this is them, but before they moved, so I was like instantly interested, and then the next week it pumped like 40% in one weekly candle, so I was like, all right,
Yeah, look
this
at
is something's happening here.
So you
Yeah, and I can tell you, like, as somebody who like did the DFA on DAG a lot, I'm pretty involved with that. It's also something that would be worth a moon back once the trade is completed.
Yeah, well,
It
that's right.
really
I mean,
has potential.
yeah, I mean the market cap's so small. I mean, it could potentially go higher, but obviously that's just a measured move based off the 2019 run. So that's just
Makes a lot of sense too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
like just I got kind of compartment in my mind.
come on.
Compartmentalized.
I like took two approaches. Like one is that the trade is over, and like currently I've been arguing since like beginning of the year that it might be time for your trades to include a moonback again, which was frowned upon for a couple of years now. And I think like, if we get a new cycle, then sometimes these moonbacks can end up as very, very nice surprises later. I remember
definitely,
finding early 2018 finding like some ZRX that I bought on Mercatox when I entered crypto. And I think I spent like a couple $100 on that, maybe max 1K, and suddenly it was a small car. It's crazy. Like stuff like that can happen. So
Yep.
I kind of entertain the thought again of like keeping a bit.
Yeah, nice.
Like fundamentally.
All right. Well,
I
my
think
jaws are starting to hurt. Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
This was a great stream, though. Unexpected guest Stillman, but I really appreciate you coming on, Benjamin Blitz. Yeah. No, I hope you didn't mind. I think that was great. Like kind of impromptu.
Yeah, that was good. It was good chatting to both of you. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
thanks.
and Blum, it's very nice to meet you. I think
likewise. We never talked before.
Yeah, you too. We've conversed on Twitter, but it's always good to put a voice.
Anything you want to promote, talk about, anything you need, Now, no plugs. No plugs. You're good
to have a chat and just talk some shit. So,
Me too.
Cheers. Thanks.
Yeah, we should do it again sometime. Have a good one.
Definitely. All right. Catch us later.
Take care. Yeah, Stillman, thanks for coming on. Audience, if you enjoyed, you better hit that like button because we barely get any. So we'd really appreciate you liking, subscribing, and I hope you enjoyed.